Here they come.
Oh man, welcome.
All these history lovers.
Oh,
My people.
Yes, my people.
While you guys are coming in, you can keep your videos off or on. It's totally up to you. We're not gonna police you in any way. But please in the chat, let us know where you're coming from. We'd love to hear what cities are represented here. Since this week, we've had people from, we've had like several different countries. I don't even know how many states at this point. Oh, we got a Maine person here. That's where my family lives.
Vancouver, Washington.
Seattle,
I grew up there.
You grew up in Vancouver,
No one
Washington?
knows where Vancouver is. Yeah.
Huh. Is this New Zealand but stuck in Memphis? Sweet. Texas, Northern California, Chicago, Arizona. Man, this is like great. You have people from all over. More Chicago. All right. Awesome. Well, welcome, y'all. Just to kind of kick it off, my name is Amanda. I'm here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I keep saying wrong all day. But I live here at the Fiveable house. This is what work from home or like it's like work from home, but also like live at work. It's kind of where we're at. And so I founded Fiveable a couple years ago, started in like the winter of 2018. Before that, I was a teacher. I taught AP World and AP Human Geography in Oakland. So shout out to that Northern California group. I found as a teacher that there was so much work that needed to be done in, especially the APs, but in a lot of places, right? A lot of students spend a lot of time fending for themselves. Like you're kind of at home, you're Googling, you're on YouTube, you're like trying to fix the missing pieces. There's a lot of things that happen at school that don't always meet all of your needs. And so that was real. Like after I left my school, some of my former students were reaching out to me and was like, actually for APUSH, and they were like, Ms. D, you got to help us. Like we're all about to fail this test. And so I just started streaming, and that was how Fiveable got started. So I started streaming, and since then we've built out a lot of content, study guides, videos, streams, and then ultimately it's about building community. It's about creating space for students to find other students who are studying the same thing at the same time. Right? Like you don't have to be at this alone. Like even though you all live in completely different areas, you're actually learning the same things and for a lot of the same reasons, right? So we are excited to really help you be able to pass the AP US History test, but then also to really help you make these like larger connections too, right? Like obviously there's a lot going on in this country right now. And so as you study US history, you're going to be able to have a better idea of the context of it. Like why are things the way they are, and how does understanding the history help you figure out a better way forward? And so those are the things that really matter to us. You know, it's not just about like memorizing stuff for a test. So it's not just like memorizing a bunch of, you know, dates and names of old dead white guys. Like that ain't us. So that is a little bit about me and about Fiveable. Super excited this year to have the courses roll out, to have community spaces and a whole bunch more content coming your way. So if you are not yet signed up for this course, or if there's another course that you're thinking about, you can use the code OH10. Stephen will drop it in the chat with the link. And that is something you or your friend could use at any point this week. That'll just take $10 off of any course. So with that, I will kick it off to Stephen, who will talk a little bit about himself and his role at Fiveable and a little bit about courses before introducing Chris to really get into the U.S. history kickoff. Woo!
Perfect. Thank you, Amanda. And yes, you are a lifesaver. I think Carlin speaks for all of us. But my name is Stephen, like Amanda said, and I'm the operations manager here at Fiveable. And so I kind of just do all the stuff that no one else wants to do. I just kind of pick up the pieces and make sure we're all in the right spot at the right times. And a lot of what I do is logistical and internal. And so if you guys have questions like, how do I get into Slack, or you don't know how to use Zoom or things like that, I can definitely help you out there. Luckily, for any US history questions, we have Chris here who will be able to walk you through some of that. And we have Becky, Caroline, Kate, we have a content people who can really help with the content behind all of that. But in terms of the actual history itself, I will not, you'll be thankful that I am not teaching that. Chris will be teaching that. And so Chris, the floor is yours. You can share your screen, and I'll be around in the chat. If you guys have any questions, just throw it in chat and I'll be able to answer it. Or Chris, if you see it and you're like, hey, I can answer that while I'm on the fly, you can do that too. But Chris, it's all you.
All right, thank you. Hello, everyone. It's so great to see like actual students, and I have yet to really start my school year where I'm at. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen real quick, and we will get going with this. All right, so I'm going to walk you through a little bit about where I'm at with Fiveable and just kind of a little bit about myself. I think it's always great to know who is going to be teaching you. So here's me. I'm Chris. My students call me Brady. Either work. It's kind of up to you. And here's me. No, wait, this isn't the right picture. This wasn't right either. Okay, that's better. So those two clowns in that picture we'll get to in just a second, but apparently me and my family can never take a good pic. So I'm in Chicago. I teach at a school called UIC College Prep. I teach US history, APUSH, and I'm the reading department chair, so I'm kind of in charge of everyone, which is a new role to me, and I have a lot of power, and I kind of like it. So in the picture, that's my mom and my brother. Family's super important to me. My brother moved out to Maryland about 10 years ago, so every year my mom and I go out to visit him because he is 2 years and 1 day apart. My birthday is July 21st and his is the 20th, and this is the first year in like 10 years we haven't been able to go out to see him, so thanks, COVID. Some hobbies: I like to stay fit and active, but don't ever ask me to run. I just won't. I don't like to do it. I love food and cooking. I love books and reading. Love tearing down some systems of oppression built upon by centuries of a dominant culture. And my friends and family. Those are some of the things that are most important to me. All right, some classroom experience. I have been teaching for 10 years. High school social studies is kind of what my degree is in. My first 4 years teaching, I was kind of like the jack of all trades guy. I taught most of the elective level classes. So I've taught everything from like sociology to geography to current events to all levels of history, economics, kind of everything. But my true passion is US history. And so I have 6 years of AP experience. My first year of AP, I actually taught econ, micro and macro, and forgive me, but I love throwing random econ facts into my US history. So if that's your jam, I'm really happy to nerd out with you. And then this will be my 5th year teaching APUSH, which I'm super excited for because after everything that's happened in this past spring, there's literally no better time to be a history teacher and for you to be a history student. And this, like everyone has said so far, this is not going to be just like, you know, the march through history. This is going to be learning about everything about why our world is the way it is. So I would really love if you all could join me on this. All right, some experience with remote learning. Back in 2014, I had a couple ideas published in a flipped learning social studies book written by the founders or the founders of flipped learning. So that was kind of cool. It was kind of a chip on my shoulder after that. My old school let me lead a Chromebook pilot to hook up people with one-to-one Chromebook initiatives. It worked through some really awful red tape. When I got to my current school, I started to lead a research initiative trying to get more technology into the kids' hands. And then spring hit and COVID hit, and we were all kind of forced to go online. And I won't lie, I basically pushed my entire APUSH class through Fiveable. Week to week, I led them through what Fiveable was handing out, and I think it kind of saved my life because not only was the content super rich, but the review was amazing. Everyone involved was super helpful in answering questions. And that led me to want to be a Fiveable streamer. I think there's so much to offer with this. All right, so why should we be taking Fiveable? There's no grades, right? I'm not going to grade you. It's only going to be feedback. Me, a TA who has crushed the APUSH exam already, knows the ins and outs, and a head table reader, we got your backs on this. Basically, you can take this class however you want to. We're going to have some like soft deadlines, but for the most part, this is on your time, and it's all going to be about feedback. What do you need to help you be successful in this course? And there's no prereqs, so come as you are and just get ready to nerd out on history. So basically what this is it's pre-colonization Americas to present day in 15 weeks. So the College Board likes to say that it's 1491 to present day, and that's because they would be kind of livid, and everyone else would be, if we started American history with Columbus, which is basically just an Italian guy not having directions. So we kind of like start pre-Columbus. We talk about native cultures, you know, what America was before Europeans came, pretty much up until Trump. So that's a fun jaunt through 400 years of history. It's all self-paced. There's tons of support. You get personalized feedback from our team of APUSH instructors, me, some readers, and student TAs. And you're going to become that kid who is always saying, well, actually, to your friends and family. And that's kind of my favorite part about being a history buff, is that you get to just prove everyone wrong. It's the greatest. All right, so each week, what's going to be provided? A 1 hour live session with me and our learning community, and that is you. Okay, this is not me teaching you. This is us kind of learning these things together. What is your perspective? Where are you all at? You are all from, we got someone in here from New Zealand. Like, I want to hear more about that in terms of American history. Like, what can we give each other? There's going to be some curated primary and secondary sources from Fiveable and our team. So Fiveable put together some really great content. But also, I've been doing this for a long time, and I have some like fun to knows and some things that kind of go behind the scenes in history. There's going to be some unique assessments. It's not just going to be like SAQs and FAQs. FAQs are frequently asked. FRQs, DBQs, but we're going to get some projects in here. We're going to really explore history. Office hours with our amazing TA who crushed the exam. And it's a chance to connect with you all, right? Students like-minded that just want to learn some history. You know, we're all going to be taking the same test. We'll all be learning the same stuff. Let's make that a community. Let's be there for each other. So here's a sample week. You can see kind of day by day, there's topics that we're going to be talking about. There's some events and activities. For example, on Monday, there's going to be the live stream kind of setting up the week. There's going to be some discussion posts for you all to engage with. I will be there in as well. You can have some office hours. And then every week there is going to be some sort of assessment. And for this, I just kind of included an FRQ just to kind of, you know, get that practice going on. I really believe in the power of writing, and that's something that I really like to express. Communication is our greatest tool, and to put that down on paper is just a skill that is going to be needed for a long time. Just listen to any politician today. You can crush them in a debate already. There's outside resources, there's Fiveable guides, and then every weekly question will be down there, so you can kind of prepare for that. So you might get some insight into this question as the week goes on, and then you can get feedback and you start crafting your response, because nothing should be a surprise, right? We should be going through this at our own pace, you knowing exactly what's expected. All right, some advice. Own your learning, right? I've been doing this for 10 years now, and the most successful students are the ones that really just kind of like take control. If you have a question, ask it, right? If you have a problem with something, or if you want to challenge something, I'm just a source, right? You read all sorts of things on Twitter, on Facebook, on Snapchat, on your news. You should challenge that, and I'm the same way. You should be challenging whatever is being told to you. And with that, you can't learn without taking risks. Take a chance, engage, respectfully decline someone's opinion, right? Get in there, sink your teeth into history. Lean on us. We are some passionate history lovers, and talking about this stuff is just fun for us. So make our day and like ask us a random question. We'll probably talk your ear off and you'll probably regret it, but it'll be fun. Time management and organization. If those words are kind of foreign for you, ask for advice. We're really good at dishing out like what can work with your schedule. We're all going to school. I'm teaching, you're going to school. We got to make our schedules work for one another, and that's something that we should co-create as a community. And then we're all in this together, and we got this. It's not me, it's not you, it's all of us, right? This is a team effort. So, is it worth it? It's worth it, right? We got master's teachers, and it's not just an APUSH, it's every Fiveable course. Every teacher has volunteered their time to do this because they're so passionate about it. There's accomplished TAs that have taken the test, that have been in your shoes, that can guide you through the process. You get structured, individualized learning. Whatever you need, we are here for it. There's a community of like-minded peers that are co-creating this space in whatever you need. And there's going to be gifts, like a lot of gifts. I kind of had to take a lot of them out of this presentation. So with that, are there any questions? I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And if you are brave enough to go off mute or just type it in the chat, we can
I
help.
actually have a quick question. So I am going to school and taking APUSH. So I'm sure a lot of people are in the same situation. I'm on e-learning, but my teacher basically said, like, our administration has even said too, like, we're kind of just ignoring the kids who are on e-learning and focusing on those in person. So I was wondering if this course is going to kind of follow like the same order that like a typical classroom would follow, or if we would be like going in a different type order, like with the units and time periods.
That's a really good question, and I really appreciate you being brave and asking that. Typically the way I teach, it is kind of the chronological way, just because I like to put those trends in history together. So we'll be talking in period 1 about like Columbus and European colonization of the Americas. And we'll see those themes come back up like 100 years after that, and then 50 years after that, and then like a week. So it is kind of that chronological way. So I think that's a lot of how most APUSH teachers teach in terms of like who I've talked to, what conferences I've been to. And if it's not in line, that's something that you and I could talk about as well. Be like, hey, we're here in school. Can you kind of point me in some resources? Definitely.
Thank you so much.
All right. Looking at
Another
the
question. Do you know when the weekly the live courses or the live recordings will be?
Yes and no. I think we're in, someone who is more knowledgeable than me, please jump in. We're trying to figure that schedule out right now. I would, if I can just plug my own time here, I would love to have it on Mondays just to kind of set the tone for the week and see where we're at. But those are going to be different for kind of everyone. So I don't think we have that answer yet.
Yep. And with that, the schedules are being sort of finalized as we approach go time here next week, but they will likely be in the beginning of the week. But again, it's a community. You guys are all one community together. And so it's, you know, if absolutely no one can make it on Monday, there's no reason to have it. It's something where, you know, the teacher and the community will all work together to sort of work it all. And all the live lectures will be recorded too. And so even if you can't make it, there's no worries on missing any of it. So hope that answers your question as best as possible.
I want to talk about this question. Why do you think APUSH has always been considered as the hardest AP? I've definitely gotten that a lot. It was definitely hard when I took it, except when I took it, we had 55 minutes to answer like 75 questions. And that was back in 2003. It was it was like almost impossible. But I think people think that because it's heavily written based, and you really have to craft an argument for 75% of the test. And it's also 500 years of history in a very short amount of time. So it is a lot of, it's not necessarily like memorizing dates. There's what I like to call like the forever dates, like, you know, 1776, American Revolution, 1860, you know, start of Civil War, things like that. But you'll never get a question that's just like, you know, who was Herbert Hoover's neighbor when he was growing up, right? It's all like thematic and trying to connect those dots, right? Yes, Jesse, 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. That's how I remember too. I sang that song in like 5th grade. So I think people think it's the hardest because there's so much, and it's the timing, right? You're going to take this test if you're signed up to take it in the spring. You know, you're going to have 60 minutes to analyze 7 documents and then write a whole essay based on those documents, right? That's a tough thing to do. So it's kind of learning those ins and outs. So when we do talk about like test prep, my motto is work smart, not hard, right? There are these different ways to kind of like play the test, because the test is kind of playing you, but we don't even want to focus on the test. If we just focus on the passion of history, that's going to carry you so much farther than just being like, I need to pass this test. So my first year taking 3 AP classes, good for you. Any advice on how to handle my workload? I'm also a dancer and I dance 17 hours a week, which doesn't give me a lot of free time to study. You are getting after it. Really applaud that. You know, workload is all about like compartmentalization. You're probably, especially with, I'm not too sure how your, you know, COVID classes are, if you're in school, if you're hybrid, if you're completely online. What works best for me is just thinking like, okay, I know I have 19,000 different things swimming in my head. What's the one I need to focus on right now, right? I'm going to take APUSH out and I'm going to do that for an hour and then I'm going to put it away. Then I'm going to take AP Chem out. I'm going to do it for an hour and then I'm going to put it away, right? And you really don't want to work on a class for more than like 45 minutes to an hour, or else your brain will literally go to mush. It's learning science. So like 45 minutes, take a break, go watch an episode of The Office or something. Come back, do something else. Office, right? Parks and Rec, whatever your Netflix jam is, right? But that's just kind of how I manage it. I was not good at this in high school, and I wish someone had been like, okay, you have sports now. Focus on sports. Stop talking about econ or something, right? Focus on what you're doing. And that's the best advice that I've ever gotten. Just compartmentalize. Think of your mind as a file drawer. Open it up, take out that one file, read it, put it back. Does the weekly lecture cover a whole unit every week? No. For the most part, the weekly lecture is going to be kind of tying in those big pieces of history. So kind of like tying in what we had done the previous week to what we're about to do this week, and just kind of connecting those dots in some of the, you know, here's just some things that we need to know, right? The need to knows. This is the time to like visualize history, see the timeline, you know, put those maps together in your mind, and then dig deeper as the week progresses. Have I anything else? I think that's everything in the chat.
I think so. I did see one. So with this specific recording for the open house, the recording's gonna be sent in like a recap email, I think, where at the end of the week it'll be all the open houses that happened this week. Here's the link to them, so you can view any of the other ones you want. They'll all be pretty similarly structured, but it'll be nice to get a chance to meet, you know, the course teacher and get a feel for that course as well. But as far as the recording, it'll be on the website as well, says Caroline. So you could find it all over the place.
And again, this is all on your time, right? You don't have to follow the weekly schedule. If you have, you know, dances, if you have practices, if you are in extracurriculars, right? You know, manage your time. If you just need this as a supplement, it's going to be there for you. If you just need some like specific, hey, you know, I'm just wondering how this thesis looks, or I'm wondering if this makes sense. Absolutely, right? That's why we're here. It's whatever you need and whatever path you're trying to take to support your APUSH career right now.
Mm-hmm. Sweet. Well, so if you enroll in any of these courses, you'll end up getting a link to join. I know we kind of talk about this Slack community a little bit, but you'll get a link to join Slack. And essentially what that is a chatting platform where you can sort of, you know, chat with the teachers, chat with each other, and you'll be in your specific APUSH channel as well as the channel with everyone else in it. And so it's almost like you're in school, just not at all. But you can chat with, you know, everyone there. And so if you have any questions regarding that the Slack channel, let's say you did purchase a course, but you're not in the Slack channel or something like that, feel free to ping me. The cool thing is you can ping any one of us and we're always all available. And that's the cool thing about the community. It's not like I can only talk to my teacher when I'm in class. right face to face, like, right, we're a community all together now, so we have that access. And so if you have any other questions or questions that weren't able to get answered, I don't know if there's any other ones that came up. Chris, did you see? Yeah, looks like we're good to go. So if you do have any other questions, just feel free to message any one of us. You can email hi@fiveable.me, or there's a little chat bubble at the right-hand corner of our website, and you can chat us there too, and so we'll be able to help you out. But other than that, thank you, Chris, so much for taking the time to walk us through. I feel like I already know everything about U.S. history now, so we're set.
Thanks for letting me talk to y'all tonight. This is really great.
Yeah. So again, reach out if you have any questions. OH10 discount code for $10 off. You can share that with any of your friends. I think that's it. Thank you all for coming, and we'll catch you guys later.